Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is an honor and a privilege, alhamdulillah, to be with you to discuss, subhanAllah, our beloved mother, Maryam, the mother of Jesus. Maryam comes from, subhanAllah, a wonderful, amazing, like powerful woman herself. Like her mother is someone who has already experienced somewhat an adversity, that the moment that she's pregnant with Maryam, she's already experienced the death of her husband. And so when she's pregnant with Maryam, she's just so full of hope. And so in this moment of hope, she actually still wants to give back to Allah as a result of the loss of her husband, because her husband was someone who was a leader, who was a sheikh, possibly in some scholars say that he experienced revelation. And so because of that, his passing, she wanted an heir. She wanted someone that she could give back to Allah Azza wa Jal in service, right, to the religious community. And so she makes this promise where she literally dedicates what is in her womb to the service of Allah Azza wa Jal. So at this time, it's important to know that there are no girls who are allowed inside of religious seminary or who are allowed inside of religious spaces from the perspective of being clergy or also being students of knowledge. Because the feeling was like, if you're not going to serve in the clergy, if you're not going to be a rabbi or a minister or the teacher, then you wouldn't actually have joined seminary. So when she makes this promise of dedication, of course, there's, some criteria that from the worldly standard would match that promise. So when she gets pregnant and she gives birth to a girl child, she's worried, right? She says to Allah, "Oh Allah, I have given birth to a female child," meaning she's concerned about how is she going to be able to fulfill her promise to Allah Azza wa Jal. But sure enough, Allah tells her, "I know full well what you gave birth to, and the female is not like the male, right? That they are not, subhanAllah, they're not the same." And so she then basically says that I'm going to fulfill this promise that I gave to Allah, that I gave to God, regardless, right, of any of the circumstance. So she takes this child, Maryam, as a young baby, actually to the gates of what we now know as Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. And her home is right outside of the gate. So she goes and she says, basically, I'm giving this child to you in service. And, of course, they're astonished because they want to honor and respect her because she's the wife of their great teacher. And so they say, well, we don't accept babies, right? And we don't accept girls. But she doesn't let it stop. She continues to offer this child to them, meaning that she's going to do everything within her power to fulfill her promise. And so when Maryam gets older, she actually starts to do this for herself. So she stands outside of Masjid al-Aqsa asking to be let in, to be able to be a part of the seminary and to be a religious student and to be in service to the clergy. And she, stands there and she gives out sadaqah as a result. So now she's got the attention of those who are in power, those who are in control. And so they say, it's been years that they've been asking for this and protesting outside of the gates, like a quiet protest. And so, we've got to do something about it. And so they come together, and it happens that her uncle, who's Zachary, Prophet Zachary, is actually a part of this council. And so they take a vote, and this vote is basically that they're going to finally allow her in. But it has to be that who's going to be in charge of her, because she has to be put into a separate area because she's a girl in a male-dominated space. And so they draw hats, and Zachariah's name is chosen, which they feel like maybe he's going to show favoritism or he's going to be lenient because he's actually in support of Maryam actually studying in the seminary. And so they pull names again, and 12 times his name is chosen, and it becomes obvious to them that he is the one that will have the responsibility of actually caring for Maryam in that seminary. And so they built a room for her, and it's her special mihrab. And this is a room we actually get to visit on our trips to Jerusalem, where, Maryam studies and prays. And from that room, she would actually go out and be in service to the religious students. She wasn't allowed to do so herself. So she'd organize her work so that she could be close to the classrooms and then take what she learned back in the evening at night and study and pray over over it. And also she would give charity from the upper levels. There's a staircase that you'll be able to see if you join the trip, where she actually goes and gives charity from that door. And because of her work and service and study and prayers into the night, it was known for, because she would be fasting, that she often would faint. Right? So she would faint. And so then Allah would send her food into her room and manifest this miracle, subhanAllah, on her hand. And this miracle, it's her uncle Zachary who discovered it and let us know about it, where he's saying, I'm seeing fruits in your room, winter fruits in the summer and summer fruits in the winter time. And so it becomes known, he asked her, where did you get this fruit from? And she says, from my Lord, min inda Rabbi, that he provides for me without measure. And so it becomes obvious about her personal relationship with God and how powerful that relationship is. And so what Maryam is known for across the world, of course, is being someone who was extremely generous to the poor, who was extremely faithful to God. She's known in the Quran as the devout servants. And so for me in my life, she's just a woman of amazing impact. Not only does she teach us about what faith looks like in action, but she also teaches us about grace under pressure and how you can push the boundaries of society for the sake of God, while at the same time it's your faith, right, that's actually guiding it. And so therefore it's done with a certain adab, right? It's done with a certain type of, it's a beautiful resilience. It's a spiritual activism that's happening. And so because of her spiritual activism, because of her, basically saying, I'll take this piece that you're giving me for now, and I will use it to my benefit. But literally, she uses it to the benefit of all women who want to study in seminary. And of course, I walk in the footsteps of our Mother Mary, having the opportunity to study religious knowledge, to be in religious institution from a position of acceptance. In addition to, she teaches us, when you want to accomplish a goal, combine it with fasting, combine it with charity, combine it with khidmah, combine it with service. And that's how you're actually showing to God that I'm not doing this to show off. I'm doing this to please you. And so I want to say to all of you who are interested in joining the trip, it's such a powerful experience to not only go from the door where in the home that she grew up in, but to be able to walk in her footsteps and to study in the places that, subhanAllah, she studied and she prayed and she gave charity from. We sit there and give lessons, about our Mother Maryam. And so I invite you to join us on this journey. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in Jerusalem.